Okay, welcome everyone. As we are sponsored Lili Nishmas, David ben Chaim, L'Refu Shleim for Yomis Mechayisara, Yaakov ben Bas Yaleim for the Schus of Avram Yom Benish B'Malk Yudis and family. We are sponsored by the Fisher family, Lili Nishmas Bas Robert Shlomo ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain, that the Neshama should have an Aliyah. We're sponsored by your Klugman and family for their Panosik Zunt and Nachas. We're sponsored L'Refu Shleima for Avigdor Aryeh ben Rivka Hinda Bas Chayisara. Rivka Bashira Leah, Chana Bashasha Bina, Moshe Meir ben Estefadel, Yitzchak ben Tziyim ben Dusha, and Meir ben Chayesara. They should have a refuah shalema b'seich she'archei Yisrael. We now learn, we know that in the Beis Hamikdash there were 24 mishmaros, 24 divisions, and they each served their week. Then it was further divided up into different batei avos, different households of those mishmaros. Now, the Kohanim of the base of would get a share in the karbanos, and in an oila they would get a share in the oros, in the hides. However, tful yom u'mechusar kippurim, if somebody was a tful yom, the member of the base of that day, touched the sheretz, and he went to the mikveh, but he's not able to eat until the night. So tful yom, who cannot eat until the night, he cannot take in the day in order to eat it that night, since he's not fit now. Or mechusar kippurim, or let's say he was a zav, and he already counted his 7 days, and he went to the mikveh, but on the 8th day he has to bring his carbon. And let's say it was the 8th day, but he didn't bring his carbon yet. So he cannot take a portion, einon cholkim b'kachim, can't take a portion in the kachim. Lechel erev, to eat it in the case of a tful yom, to eat it in the evening, and in the case of mechusar kippurim, to eat it even after he brings his carbon, since he can't do it now. Oinen, somebody had lost a close relative, one of the 7 close kin, on that day, lo aleinu. Nagea, he could touch kachim, ve'ena makriv, but he's not allowed to offer kachim, ve'ena cholik, and he can't get a portion, even though in the night he would be able to eat it already. Lechol erev. Balei mumen, a kohen that's blemished, bein balei mumen kvuim, whether he has a permanent blemish, bein balei mumen oivnin, or it's a temporary blemish. Either way, cholkin, he gets a portion, v'oichlin, and he can eat it, avaloi makrim, but of course he can't do the akrava as a balmum. The balmum was given the job to deworm the wood in the lishkas ha'etzim. V'chol she'ena roya la'avoda, a kohen that can't do the avoda, let's say he's an orel, he's uncircumcised because his brother died from Mila, or let's say he's tamei, einoi chelek babasar, he can't take a portion of the meat. V'kol she'enoi babasar, and if he doesn't get a portion of the meat, einoi ba'oris, he doesn't get a portion of the hides. Now, afilu tamei b'shas rikas damim, even though he was tamei at the time the blood was sprinkled, but he was already fit in the night when they smoked up the ivarim. V'tar b'shas hekter chalavim, he was already fit when they smoked up the fats, or even during the day when they smoked up the fats. Einoi chelek babasar, he cannot take a portion of the meat. Shenema hamakriv es hadom hashlamim v'es hachelim ibnei Aaron, if he was fit at the time that they sprinkled the blood and they offered the fat, he is entitled to get a portion of the right shank as a portion. But if he wasn't fit at the time that they sprinkled the blood, he's not fit to take a portion. Now, any meat that the mizbeach was never privileged to get, because the blood was never sprinkled on the mizbeach. It fell onto the floor. It was puzzled b'yaitze, etc. Lo yizachu hakahanim ba'ira. So then the kahanim don't get the hide. Shenemar oilas ish. If the oila was accepted for the man, for the owner, oila should also the ish. But if this was disqualified, so it wasn't oila for the ish, then the kahanim don't get the hide. Oila shenishchata shaloi lishma. Now an oila that's slaughtered shaloi lishma. Now this is interesting. We know that an oila that's slaughtered shaloi lishma is kosher, but it's like oila l'bal and l'shem chayva. The owner doesn't fulfill his requirement, he has to bring another one. But still he gets the schus of bringing a carbon. And therefore it's called oilas ish, afal pi shaloi also l'bayim, even though he didn't fulfill his requirement, oira l'kahanim. The kahanim could benefit from the or. Now when it says in the pasuk oilas ish, you shouldn't think that only an oila of a man, the or goes to kahanim, but the oila brought by a woman, it's not so. That's not what it means by oilas ish. Echad ish ve'echad oilas ish ve'echad oilas isha. Whether the oila brought by a man or an oila brought by a woman, or roseim lekahanim, the hides go to the kahanim. Okay, but Baruch Hashem, this is such a beautiful thing that we have 3 more parakim, really even 2 point whatever, to finish Zevachim. We're really setting ourselves up that we reviewed the entire Masechta, getting ready to learn Zevachim. Very shortly after we finish Huriyas, we're going to start the daf in Zevachim, and we'll have had a very, very good preview, which is a very good thing. Again, if anybody wants to sponsor this week's share on Shaiftim, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.